YouTube Nation, Manfit TV, aka Me TV, aka I carried a cross today, and you know what? Some of you fanboys and some of you martyrs, yeah, some of you so-called expert gamers, guess what? You're gonna have to come off the cross as well, as far as I'm concerned, because you know what? We can use the wood, we can use the nail so that we can build a better bridge, I should say, so that we could, get to the next stage. This is ridiculous. Now look, I put it like this. I'm sure you already see it in the title, and a lot of you people have sent me messages about this and information on it, so I want to thank you for that as well. All right, and I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this. All right, a lot on forums, a lot in articles, but not many on video. Okay, so as usual, when big topics come, you know me, I don't stray from it. I go right after it, and I confront it. So let's open up this conversation. So we're gonna start off with Bioshock Infinite, and as we all know, as you can see, a lot of people were saying that Bioshock Infinite is very racist. Apparently, a lot of white supremacists have come out and sat here and said that, and check this out, Jew Ken Levine, that's right, Jew Ken Levine is making a white person killing simulator. Really. That's what you want to call it. Now look, before I go any further today, I want to talk about this. Remember when Resident Evil 5 came out? And black people was coming out of nowhere saying, oh, it's a black person killing simulator. And it was like, oh, no, you're just screaming racism, blah, blah, blah. And mind you, since I'm sitting here talking about it, I'm telling you now, black person talking about race, all of a sudden people are automatically going to stereotype me and say, oh, he's screaming that's racist and all this. You know how it goes. I really don't care, all right? But this has to be addressed, all right? And what did I say in Resident Evil 5? I said in that video, I said that Resident Evil 5 wasn't racist. Did developers get some of the traditional garb wrong? Yes. All right, they did. Like I said, I'm not worried about color when I'm playing a game. I'm not. If that son bitch got an axe and he's coming at me, I'm gonna shoot him. I don't care what color he is. All right. But these people are now saying, after telling black people that they were so sensitive about Resident Evil 5, now they're turning around and saying the same exact thing. So now we got a bunch of hypocrites on our hands. Okay. Now, I want to read some excerpts here because, like I said, all the links will be in the info bar. And this is what people have said, all right? It says, a racist, violent, backward world. It says, oy vey indeed. The previous Bioshock games also had a very strange, borderline deranged, if not psychotic themes with anti-white undertones. It says, I remember in one of the previous parts, one had to kill little white girls as a player for power-ups, all right? It says, the makers, Irrational Games, have at least one Cohen amongst their staff. That's one, all right? Another one says, I wish somebody would make a game about ethnically pure Jewish utopia whose inherent aggression and hatred of all non-Jews caused the inevitable extinction of all human beings, Jews included. That would be more in line with reality. Now, this has to be one of the dumbest statements I've heard because for those who have not seen Ken Levine's interview not too long ago, actually, I believe, yeah, not too long ago, it was released on 28th, I believe, Ken Levine said he doesn't, he doesn't believe in utopias. Any utopia, all right? So for this person to say that, a pure Jewish utopia, you've already lost because Levine has already shot this down, all right? Now, here's the one that really, I'm going to stop after this, I believe, all right? It says, that really sucks that they made a theme of a game to destroy what is left of America. Seriously? Seriously. Anyways, let's keep going. It says, instead, it should have been an all-powerful federal government and racial non-white groups that bring nothing but violence and want to end America and turn it into Africa or Mexico. All right? It says, oh, I got something to say about that. It says, and they worked so hard on that game. Such a disappointment with the storyline being 100% anti-American and anti-white. You've got to be kidding me. So if it was black people and Mexican people being shot, you'd be okay with that. But if it's white people being shot, whether you have, should we really get into the statistics or even the percentages of Caucasians? Should we really get into that? I mean, this guy could be, these comments are ridiculous. Like I said, I will put, all the links will be in the info bar, all right? But you have to understand that this is fiction work, all right? It's fiction. And that's not what Ken Levine is doing. Now, a lot of people feel as though it is racist, which I don't understand why they think it's racist, all right? Well, I forgot. It's only when it's towards their kind, it seems. Like I said, in video games, we have played as all colors. We have played as all genders. We've played as different species. And yet people are still trying to wave the race flag. You know what this is? When people have to keep raising raising this race flag, it means they have nothing else better to do. And I've said this before, and this goes for black people too. When you constantly use the race card, you kind of kill what it's about. Because when real racism happens, then no one takes it seriously. That's the problem here, all right? There's nothing racist about this, but people are going to say it is racist. Now, to be fair, I do want to talk a little bit about this because there's an article that I put a link in the info bar as well that talks about how it's okay for we have heavy racism themes and scenes in games. You know, that's okay, but apparently misogyny isn't. Now, I've talked about this before, about sexual harassment and things like that. Remember when Halo 4 was coming out, the developer said, you know, they won't tolerate any sexual harassment or sexism. And what did I say in my video? I said, so you're going to take a stand for sexual harassment and sexism, which is fine because it is wrong. But for years, we've dealt with racism. We've dealt with all types of insults. And yet, nothing was done about it. Nothing has been done about it. Nothing's been said on it. And yet, developers just, you know, skate by. It seems like everyone's becoming, I wouldn't say overreacting, but it's more of hysteria, all right? Because when one person makes a big thing about it and it catches fire, then all of a sudden everybody has to talk about it. No, we got to do this and do that and do this. We've seen this not too long ago with God of War when they changed the trophy name, when it was Bros Before Hoes. You know what I mean? And Adam Sessler and a lot of people in the media came out and said, oh, that's just wrong, it's sexist, you know, and they turned it to Bros Before Foes. And then we found out, because they were saying that, you know, oh, when the developers that made the game came up with the name, it's, you know, they was being very sexist about it, and we found out a woman came up with the name. So it kind of made them all look stupid. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it goes to show you that there can be some hysteria in the gaming industry. However, racism is not a hysteria point. Is a very serious issue, no matter if you're black, white, whatever, or whatever race you are. All right? People should not have to tolerate that online. But like I said, these companies, for all their big networks that they have put so much money into, they still have not put the money in, you know what I mean, to make sure that you can clean up this stuff. And that's the behaviors of gamers as well. I will talk about that later. Okay? But I do want to move on because, like I said, I want to be fair about this. For those who have not seen what's been going on with Bioshock Infinite, especially this one scene with number 77, this really has raised an issue with people, you know, that have, this is the first thing that I've seen so far that people point to. So I'm going to show you the video on why people think it's racist.
Sorry, no sale.
Silly. There's never a charge for the raffle. You've been sleeping under a rock?
77.
77. That's a lucky number. I'll be rooting for you.
Bring me the bowl! Is that not the prettiest young white girl in all of Colombia? All right then. The winner is number 77!
Oh, what do you know?
Number 77, come and claim your prize! First round!
It was me! It was all me! Please! Please, what are you doing?
Come on! Are you gonna throw it? Or are you taking your coffee black these days? Oh, looks like we've got a shy one here. We've got to do something about that. Time's a wasting, my boy. Why don't you give her a throw?
You son of a bitch.
Wait! It's him!
Now, where'd you get that brand, boy? Don't you know that makes you the backstabbing snake in the grass false shepherd?
And we ain't letting no false shepherd into our flock. Show them what we got planned, boys! Stop him! Stop him!
Now, after that scene, I'm sure that we can all see and how it could trigger other people to say that. But also understand this. Racism used as a weapon is non-existent if you don't let it get to you. It's that simple. And if people have to use race as a weapon, then guess what? It tells you right then and there. They've run out of bullets. They've run out of ammo. They don't know what to say, and they're desperate. That's what it comes down to. So take a cue from somebody who has dealt with it time and time again. You guys saw it not too long ago in my last gaming video where someone tried to stereotype me. You saw that. And, you know, and it tells me that that person's sheltered. because they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And it's all because they pretty much just watch whatever's on TV. That's what it comes down to. Whether it's the news, and I'm going to talk about this, all right? Because the news is the biggest offender of them all. Why is it that when a black person goes and shoots somebody, or a Latino person, everyone has a stereotype, and I'm going to break this down. Black people, apparently they shoot people and kill people, they do drugs or whatever. Latinos, they steal cars or whatever, and you know what I mean? It's a bunch of crap, all right? And then you have, when they label Caucasian people, white people, they're molesters or they're mass murderers. So let me get this straight, all right? When a black person shoots somebody, it's just, he's just a thug or whatever. But when that dude, the Dark Knight Killer or whatever, when he went into Batman and shot all those people up, CNN was the first to come out and say, we need to understand why he did it. We need to understand his psyche. Really? No. That's ridiculous. So you can write off one, demographic, but not another. And then this is what I don't understand also. And I want to go back for a minute about what that guy said about how we should be killing black people and then Mexican, Latino. He said Mexico, but I'm going to say Latino, okay? Because they want to destroy America. Really? Is that why Latino people were jumping over the border so they can have a better life to come over here to America? Has anyone ever been to Mexico? Because I've been there. I've worked on assignments in Mexico. And let me tell you, you don't want to live in Mexico. Especially down there in Tijuana. You don't want to live in Mexico, okay? I can understand why people were jumping the border. So I'm not trying to jump the border to make it just like what they have over there. No. All those drug cartels and all those shooting and the police then gave up. The police don't even look like the police here, all right? They walk around in fatigues and AK-47s. You think they want that here? Where do these comments come from? It's ridiculous. Stop this, all right? But this is what I mean about how people act. They don't know when you make a stereotype like that, it tells me that you've never been anywhere. And I shouldn't take you seriously. But I understand why in that article they were saying that. And, the author of that article pretty much destroyed them. And he had every right to. Now, I want to say this about Ken Levine real quick, all right? And I'll say this I know he's not watching this, all right? But I want to say this. There's been times in interviews where I thought you were a real asshole. Real asshole, all right? But today, I'm going to say thank you, all right? Because it took this to get some attention. And it shouldn't have taken a game to get the gaming industry to think, wait a minute, maybe there is something racist here going on. Maybe we need to talk about this more because you're online. Because constantly, I'm putting it like this. If people are constantly calling you nigger every day, then by the time that a millionth person comes in and calls you one, it's not going to have any effect. It doesn't matter. Well, you think it makes you special? It doesn't make you special. But that's what it comes down to at this point. You're looking for attention. It's sad. All right? It really is. And like I said, with the media, that's all it is. Every facet of media, this happens, all right? Whether it's the news, whether it's comic books, whether it's movies, or video games. That's right, video games as well. This is why I try to tell you, you have to read between the lines, regardless of what I'm telling you, all right? That's why I give you the links in the info bar so you can read the damn thing. But understand, even that you have to read between the lines. I'm not trying to hear that you're going to take a company's word 100%. You have to be crazy to do that. This is how fanboys are created. And this is what's hurting the industry today. It's the maturity of gamers that are hurting. I'm going to talk about this later. I swear I'm going to talk about this. Because it has hindered us a lot. I'm going to talk about closing opportunities. I am. But I want to move on. All right? Because I want to talk about Metal Gear. That's right. Now, this David Hayter situation, look, let's get something straight here. We know that David Hayter will not be Snake now. Is it a raw deal? Yes. Because Konami or Kojima did not approach him. But we should know by now that it's not Konami's fault, all right? We should know they're not going to make a move unless Kojima says, let's make this move. They're not going to do anything before Kojima signs off on it. So the excuse that we heard for why David Hayter wasn't, going to be Snake after, 15 years of it, is ridiculous. They want to, change, reimagine the character. They want to, refresh them or whatever the hell word you want to use. It's garbage, especially when you're still using the original voice actor over in Japan. Okay? So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that Snake needs a revamp. I'm not trying to hear that. Now, I've heard a lot of gamers come out and say, well, given the time frame of this game, the character, David Hayter wouldn't be the voice for Snake anyway. That's what I've heard. But you know what? It really doesn't matter. All right? The fact that they didn't even approach him is such a disrespect. It's nasty. It really is. Now, I'm not saying that I feel bad for David Hayter. I don't. Because David Hayter has money. David Hayter is not squandering, he's not starving. There's no opportunities that are squandered for him. All right, he even came out in an interview himself and said, "Don't worry about me, I'm good." He came out and said that. Is he disappointed? Yes, he's disappointed. And I can understand because he has an attachment to that character. You know what I mean? And gamers have an attachment to that character. But when I start hearing gamers sitting here saying, well, if you don't care about the situation, that you're not a gamer, then you know what? No, you're the one that's not a gamer. Now understand this. I have been a gamer for a long time. And I hear people say all the time, oh, Event's not a gamer. Why? Because I have other hobbies? Because I don't let games control me? And on top of it, why do you think I care what you think if I'm a gamer or not? I don't know you. It's that simple. Why would your words hold any merit to me? See, that's the problem. You waste your time trying to knock down people instead of focusing on the bigger picture, trying to bring us together. And these type of gamers that I've seen as of late, they have to go. They have to. It is absolutely ridiculous. The reason why I call people not gamers is because they don't have the best, how can I put this, motive for the community. Like I said, where I came from, gamers were together. We were united. And we've seen that. For those who have not seen many videos as of late, when people were predicting this video game crash and how it happened before and how consumers were not happy with things, that's why, because gamers were not having it. They put developers in their place. I've said this time and time again. All right? I'm not trying to hear that because somebody doesn't agree with you when it comes to this. And you want to make petitions on this. Okay, let me talk about petitions, all right? Because there's a lot of you diehards out there that are making petitions on, oh, we want this back and we want that back. You're so gun-ho to throw around petitions and try to get numbers and brag about numbers. Let me tell you something. Where are your petitions for online passes? Where are your petitions for always online DRM? Where are your petitions, check this out, on consumers who can't resell digital goods in MP3 form because resale of court ruling? And this is for video games as well. Where's your petition for this? I want to know where your petition is for this. You know what? I'll give you another one. Where's your petition on this? All right? Because it says digital game sales are up $10 billion. Digital game sales, all right, in 2012. Used game sales and retail are down. So, as one person said, so what is the point in always online DRM or having publishers the right to block used games for next generation? What's the point? You made $10 billion. But yet people are still on board with this. People are still letting it go. I got another one for you because Gamestop's latest numbers tells the future of the gaming industry. That's right. If you put these three links together, which will be in the info bar, you can connect the dots and you can see exactly where it's going. All right? But yet we're still only worried about what we like personally and not what's best for the community. I don't understand this. And that's not all. If you need another petition, I'll give you one big fat one. Ron Fergusson comes out and says that we are actively using achievements to sell DLC in Gears of War 3. Now you understand that now they're using trophies and achievements to get you to buy DLC. And we all knew, we said before, we said this years ago, as soon as they start this trophy and achievement mess, this is what they were going to do. And that they would hold back certain trophies unless you buy the DLC. So you can't get 100% on your games if you're one of those people who like to get trophies or achievements. You understand what this means? It means they're baiting you. It means that you're being used. You are being exploited. And yet, no petitions for this. Like I said, things like this for voice actors, and this reminds me of Infamous when fans, with Cole, when fans made a big deal about it, and they changed it, okay? But understand that there are bigger issues. And it seems like nobody cares. It's only what they feel personally that needs to be attached to them. And this goes to all gamers. I'm not targeting anyone personally, all right? All gamers who do this. I'm not trying to hear it. You need to grow up. You're going about, I appreciate the petitions. I appreciate, and I agree with a lot of people when it comes to this Metal Gear thing. Yeah, David Hayter, he got a bad rap on it. I agree completely. But you are going the wrong way about this. You are. You are not focused. And that's the problem. And we're going to talk about being not focused because now we got YouTubers going around and thinking that they're legends. That's right. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, over in Pax East, we had this talk on Twitter, all right? Because people were asking me, Event, why weren't you invited to Pax East? And what did I say? I don't care. You know why they're not going to, invite me to Pax East. Because they don't want to hear the real. That's why. So I'm not worried about it, all right? And people were trying to get me, you know, there was people who actually had stuff and was like, yo, do you really want to go? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. It's not the fact that, you know, that I hate it, but no, if they really want to deal with me, they know where they can find me. I am not a hard man to find or get in contact with. You know this, all right? So I'm not trying to hear it. But yet, they invited all these Call of Duty, you know, YouTubers. Now they think that because they're feeling themselves and patting each other on the back, that they're legends. Legends, huh? Legends. Are you serious? You were invited to PAX not as a legend, but as a puppet. You were exploited by the companies when they brought you in, and hopefully that your fan base would follow you so you can see what's going on. How many of you were on panels saying, hey, we need things to change in the community. Hey, we need to make something better. None of you. You were all too busy kissing each other's asses and being, oh, we're at PAX, we're at PAX. Who cares? But yet, you think you've done something. Really? Is that what you stand for? And these are the type of gamers I'm talking about, people. All right? I don't care who gets mad at this. The fact is, it needs to be said. All these guys patting each other on the back, yet at the same time, in PAX, when they were there, when they could have used that influence for something bigger, what happened? Sexual harassment happened to cosplayers. That's right, by professionals. Not by gamers, by professionals. The link will be in the info bar for that. So there was tragedies and problems happening right under your nose, and yet you were too busy kissing each other's asses and too busy high on yourself because you felt you've made it. So you guys are still playing checkers while people like me are playing chess. You are not big. You are not legendary. You do not mean anything to these companies. You are not important. And I'm not saying that I am either. Okay? I'm not saying that. You are a small fish in a big pond just like me. The difference is I'm smart enough to realize when people are being used or when I'm being used, so I know not to be used. But it seems like it doesn't matter. And you know what? The problems with gamers has just escalated even worse since then. Because for those who don't know, all right, gamers, for people who didn't know, Sakurai, that's right, he's doing Smash Brothers. Apparently, he was having health issues. And now fanboys have become so obsessed with certain things that they are wishing that he doesn't get better so that the Wii U fails. Absolutely sickening to sit here and think that it's okay to wish that a person's health doesn't get better because you want a game on a certain system. That is horrible. All right, this is the type of mentality that we have right now. And before anyone says, you know what, Event, you're sitting there and you're telling people that they need to be more focused and that they need to do better and they need to do more. But I don't see you doing anything. Actually, you're wrong. And I'm going to explain this because a lot of you guys, you know about the fighting game tournament we're going to put on. And a lot of you guys have been asking me, you know, when are you going to start this? When are you going to start this? And I had to reassure you that we're going to do this. Yes, we're going to do this, all right? But for the previous 3-4 weeks, and I wanted this to be a surprise, all right? But now it's hindering my progress because of your behavior. And when I mean that, I mean trolls, and I mean all you YouTubers who run your big fat mouths, all right? Some of you don't even deserve to do videos, yet I'll fight for your right to do them. That's right. So for the previous 3-4 weeks, I've been talking with nonprofit organizations. That's right. And I'm trying to get sponsored so that all the contestants, when we're playing, all proceeds go to a cause. Now understand, now that I've talked to them face to face, they're all for, you know, walks and Ks and runs and stuff like that. But when I bring up online gaming, this is what I get. Ugh. That's what I get. You want to know why? Because they see what's going on. They see the gamer immaturity. They see the professionals' immaturity. They see exactly where the industry is going, and they don't want to be associated with that. It needs to be cleaned up because you're closing doors. You're shutting down opportunities. And you can't even rely on the gaming industry because if you try to get that going, they don't care about charities. You see YouTubers here and there. You see a YouTube channel here, you know, doing a cause here, a Child's Play here, Twitch TV here. You know, and I was talking to the nonprofit organizations about bringing a whole umbrella to it all, a network for it all. You know what I mean? So that we don't have to scour around almost like rogues and do it on our own. That we can be lined in with the nonprofits. So it's a system. So it's easier. So it makes things more accessible. But the video game companies don't want that either. Why? Because they want to know how to get paid off of this. Not to mention that the products that we're using for the, for their, are their games. So it's free advertising. But they want to know how they're going to make some money off of this. What they fail to realize is that all the proceeds go to a cause. Get what I'm saying? That's the problem. And I congratulate all the other YouTubers who do have nonprofits going on. You know what I mean? They're taking a gamble with you. All right? But so far, I'm still in talks with them. And there's no way I should sit at a table and then something that should take 10 minutes turns into 2 hours of me explaining them why it's okay. But then again, when you see gamers like this, I can understand why they're walking away.
Why?
What's the problem?
Why? Now I have to go all the way back and do all this shit again! I have to do all this fucking shit again now! Because this fucking game is being an asshole!
So what happened?
I was trying to do this quest, but this fucking ass woman won't let me do something, so now I have to go all the way back to this one fucking scene to get this quest done. And now I have to go all the way back, and now it looks like I have to sell all my fucking stuff too. I have to do all that shit now, again. Because this fucking game is like, oh, we can't let you do this because we're gonna be an asshole. Game, I'm fucking rage quitting. Because this fucking game is being an asshole. It won't let me do this thing. It's being a fucking asshole.
Hey, it could be worse. You could be on a train headed for Auschwitz.
Yeah, I guess. I don't want to watch that movie. I've already watched that. So don't tell me to watch anything, because I'm not watching anything. I am gonna fucking rage quit. Because this is bullshit. No, it's not! Shut up! It is not time to get off!
It's not gonna continue like this.
Leave me alone! I didn't do anything! Leave me alone!
My ears are burning.
No, they're not!
You're on to 10.
I know that! Oh my fucking god! Leave me alone! Oh my god! Why? 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 Why?
Why, SpongeBob? Why?
Why?
Now, before any of you outsiders, and I say outsiders because gamers, we know what's going on, all right, with that video. That is a family problem. That's not a video game problem. That's a family problem, even though he's playing video games, all right? No way should he be talking back to his mother like that. But you know what? If that was me back then, I'd have got my ass whooped. That game would have been taken away from me. That TV would have been taken away from me. I'd have got my ass whooped, sent to my room, and guess what? All the stuff that's in my room would have been taken away as well. So you wouldn't have nothing. So because when people get sent to the room these days, kids, they have everything in their room. Yeah, that wouldn't have happened. And I wouldn't have been allowed out. And they would have made me sit there and write all day in a book, in a composition book. Yep, until I filled it up. See, that's what it comes down to. Discipline. And it seems like a lot of gamers Not only do you lack discipline, you lack focus, and you lack conviction. And it seems like nobody cares these days, because why should they? When the companies are starting to do it, like Ninja Theory, yeah. When they're acting a fool and these people look up to them, then they act a fool. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, now they're so butthurt over the sales that they lost, with Devil May Cry, that now they're photoshopping old Dante and trying to say that he's gay. You really want to push my buttons, don't you, Ninja Theory? You really want me to do another Devil May Cry and destroy you, don't you, Ninja Theory? You have to understand that what is going on here, now mind you, people, that is just the tip of the iceberg, because that was just one picture. There was a number of pictures also that they made that was like that put him and tried to say Dante's gay. So now you're using it as a slander. You're trying to knock down old Dante with a gay term as if it's bad. Well, it's very interesting you say that, Ninja Theory, because remember, people, when Tamim came out and said that Dante isn't gay, that he's just a victim of sensationalism, and that he really wished that now that Dante was gay, new Dante. All right, remember that? You don't remember that? I will put the link in the info bar for you. So now, here we go again with Ninja Theory contradicting themselves. And you should be ashamed of yourself, because I put like this, and this is a big fat target for you people if you wanted a petition, okay? Because I put like this. It's different when gamers say that something's gay or they make Photoshop pictures or whatever, because they're gamers, they're fans, it doesn't matter. This is from a company, and somebody's going to take this and say, it's hate speech. That's what they're going to do. All right? For everything that the gay and lesbian and transgender gaming community have went through not too long ago when they had their GamerCon, and then the Westboro Baptist Church tried to picket it, and then we saw EA come out and say that they, support gay marriage and all this. Understand that that demographic, should I say demographic? I don't know what you'd say. All right? But that group of people have gone through a lot. Okay? They have. And then you pull this? Seriously? Capcom? I'll put it like this. Do you really, after this, do you really want to be associated with this company? Seriously, if somebody really makes a push to say that this is hate speech, Ninja Theory is in some serious trouble. I mean, serious. Like I said, this is not just one picture. No, there was a number of pictures, all right? But this is what I mean about maturity. How can you sit here and think that gamers, and I understand as individuals, we all have a right. You know what I mean? We all have a responsibility to be mature. All right, because like I said, people who do not, who do not understand this culture, they're still watching us under a microscope. Like I said, and this is the problem. So from now on, if I say anything Ninja Theory related, you don't have to worry about me. I was already against buying anything from, but now, really, I will never buy anything from Ninja Theory. I'm surprised that any member of Ninja Theory, and I don't care how low on the totem pole you are, okay, hasn't been banned from this. Don't go to, they better not show up at a convention. I don't want to hear Tamim talk. No, this ends it here. This is it. Like I said, and I have a lot more information on Tamim too. You tried to play the race angle when your own fan base tried to send me race. Stop this. All right, I'm done with this. See, this is what I mean, people. Today is a very disappointing day for me. Today, I'm ashamed to say that I'm part of the gaming community because of this. And I know a lot of people want me gone. You know what? You may get your wish eventually. Because this is bullshit. It is. And that's what I mean. Arguing over bullshit when there are bigger things at stake.